guys, back-to-back comics. Shane Moss was last week, and this week we've got local favorite. He won, guys. He won the Pitch Awards Best Local Stand-Up Comic, and guest of the show, Aaron Scarbrough. It was great to have him back on to catch up. I haven't talked to him in about a year, and a lot's changed in a year, as you guys obviously can tell. And I wanted to kind of catch up on where the state of comedy is, stand-up comedy here in the Kansas City area, talk about his painting. And really, guys, we just talked about life. Like, we did laugh, of course, but we got, we talked about some good stuff. And other than to congratulate him on being the best stand-up in Kansas City, according to The Pitch, I also want to talk about his podcast. He's been doing a podcast called ScarbyQ. ScarbyQ. All one word. You can find that. Search that. And then you can find him, bad_Aaron_Scarbrough. And that's it. You guys know him already. He's a friend of the show. He's been here before. We've done this song and dance. And let's get to know Aaron a little bit better and enjoy episode. I don't even know what number we're at. It doesn't matter. Boom, schlock, boom. Follow us all, like us all, subscribe, all that good stuff. That's it. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Inner Talk Podcast. We'll no topic is off limits. Now here's your host, my daddy, and Roy the Soul. Thank you for coming to the Inner Talk Podcast. Boom, schlock, boom.
And 3, 2, 1. It is fun to write jokes when your mind is slightly altered.
Yeah, can be.
Do you have a particular drug that you've ever used that kind of sparked something that was like, oh, wow, that's definitely from the drug?
Right.
Did you ever have like a cocaine-fused night and just had like rattling off nonstop joke after joke? And like, I only would have came because I was,
I mean,
blowing lines all evening. And
yeah. No, I've never been the type, so I don't drink anymore, but when I did drink, that was when I used cocaine. Because it just, I loved alcohol and I loved getting drunk so much that, if the opportunity arose to make the night last longer, then I took that every time. And, I've never sought out cocaine during the day. But, dude, coke is it is just a complete, I understand why people get addicted to it, because it is the funnest time. And you think that
it's a good time. It's a good time.
Dude, you think that everything you have to say is the most interesting. I just, when I'm on coke, which it hasn't been for years and hopefully will never be again, but I
hope so too.
Right. Yeah.
For you.
I can't even imagine because in this climate, and just the way things are now where you can't really do much anyway, I just can't even, I think coke would be a horrible time. Can you imagine being in quarantine and just having all the coke you wanted? That would be horrible.
Well, I don't think the kind of guy that's going out and getting a bunch of coke is the kind of guy that's going to quarantine himself.
No.
He's out there. There's stuff going on, man.
Right.
Kansas City's not, at least in Kansas City's not shut down. I went to John's Big Deck for the, not the Super Bowl, obviously, because that's today, but the previous one, the NFC and AFC Championship. Dude, it was packed.
Yeah.
Packed. And they're not social distancing. They're not marking off tables like, all right, this table nobody can sit at, but this one you can. It's every table is asshole to elbow. I mean, it was like I took a Instagram video and was like, yo, this is like pre-COVID.
Right.
I mean, people have a mask, but not when they're sitting down. They barely have it when they're off walking around.
If people are going to drink, people are going to drink. And I know, if I was still a drinker, I would be the worst about that right now. I would not care. I would be at the bar every night that I possibly could because I crave that social, interaction.
You did when you drank, but now you don't?
No, I've really kind of become like it's hard to get me out of my painting studio right now. You know, that's the only way I can stay sane. I go in, I paint all day, and then I've been lucky enough to get work at the Comedy Club of KC and the Improv. So I perform at those places as much as possible, and that fulfills my need for performance and seeing people. But yeah, I don't go to parties and stuff right now or anything.
Staying pretty safe for the most part.
It's not
purposely
even,
safe. Or
it's not even a safety thing. I don't think. If it was about safety, I wouldn't be performing.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know?
I didn't know if you were like even doing that. Like just, hey, everybody, stay 6 feet away from me. I'm just gonna go up there, do my jokes, and get the hell out of here.
Right. I'm not. I've given up on. Like if someone's gonna shake my hand, I'm so much of a Midwestern boy that the need to not feel rude outweighs my desire to not die.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna shake hands. Like if I'm not the one to instigate it, but I'm gonna
It's also just reactionary. I mean, we've been doing it our whole lives, just instinctual. If someone puts a hand out to you, automatically reach for it.
Dude, yeah. Do you remember, like, because last time I was here, it was like almost a year ago.
With Ryan Tricky?
Yeah. My last weekend performing before everything shut down was in March. And I remember there was I was in Arkansas at a club, and the feature act was from Texas. And I remember it was just right before shit hit the fan. And when I met this guy, like I instinctually reached out to shake his hand, and he kind of, he backed off.
Oh, the Texas guy. That's surprising that a Texas guy would be.
Yeah, and I just remember thinking, dude, what a rude pussy, like because it had not sunk in that this was a real deal. Because we think of all the diseases and stuff that we've been warned about over the years, and I never took any of that seriously. I never researched any disease like that. It never fazed me. I never thought anything like this could happen. But I know this is groundbreaking, new, important discussion a year into this pandemic.
I know. I think it's great. It's it's what's going on right now. I think a year ago, I think there was kind of, when it first hit, everyone's talking about it. Of course. And then for a while, people are still talking about it. It's like, all right, enough of it. But now I think that time has passed. Is now that we've had enough time, we can kind of look at where we were a year ago and this roller coaster that we've been on with this. Like, it's been a interesting, I don't know what to call it. Not experiment, but almost. It's been a weird social experiment.
Yeah, I mean, a paranoid, at risk of sounding paranoid, I guess, there is part of me that's like, what if this is all a, not that, like, I don't think that this, I haven't researched it enough, like, and don't take my words seriously at all, but
I might.
Yeah, I know you might.
I'm a sucker.
Right.
Like, I can be duped into anything.
I'm not worried about what you think. I'm worried about what human beings think when they hear this. But yeah, I wonder what things would be like had this not happened. And there's no question that everything that happened last year was used to politically. And I'm not even saying that it shouldn't have been. Like, I know politics are cutthroat, and something had to be done about the guy in the White House and everything. But it's going to be interesting to see, now that the Democrats have seized control of the whole thing, basically. It doesn't pay anymore to over-exaggerate what's going on, and I'm not one of those, like, I'm not a QAnon, right wing, like, wacko. But I think you'd have to be crazy to think that certain things weren't blown out of proportion.
100%.
And weaponized to, get rid of Trump. And I'm glad he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, it was scary. It is scary when you see that. And, of course, you can justify the means because how mean Trump is on Twitter and shit. Let's get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's fine, but really you shouldn't be justifying those means because it can happen to anybody. When you saw everything that was like, just, we're in a strange time because this really exposed a lot of the corruption.
Yeah.
And not just government, but big tech.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have Facebook censoring stuff before the election and then just censoring mainly conservatives, like just wiping them out. But now some liberal type sites are starting to get censored now too, and they're like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
you got to be careful if you're on the left and we got to ban these Nazis. We can't have these Nazi talks on here. Well, they're coming for you too. You might just because you like it censored now, it's coming for you too. Like you got to have shit open and free, and a lot of this stuff's been exposed, and
it's not.
Yeah. It's a weird time, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you still don't think that big tech or whatever you want to call it doesn't control our lives, like, I mean, they're in charge. They are absolutely in charge.
They're in charge, and we love it.
Yeah, we
love it as a species. We love it. Look at us. What kind of phone you got right there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm completely addicted to social media.
Yeah.
I don't really have a life without it.
Yeah. I mean, we even love the way they take up our time with ads.
Yeah.
Ads are just, you're taking up my time when I look at your ad, but we're even okay with it because they're gearing it towards us.
Right.
Oh, I saw that. I was just Googling some watches the other day because I'm in the mood for a new watch.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one Google for one watch. And all of a sudden now when I scroll on certain whatever, all of a sudden all these watch ads come up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, but do you see a solution for any of this? Because I don't know.
I do, but it's not. Yeah, I do. I see it. Man, I don't know if solution is the right word for it. But we're going to need an event.
Yeah.
That's the only way. It's going to have to have an actual reset button. It's going to have to be a solar flare that takes out a lot of technology.
Right.
We're, God forbid, some kind of war or terrorist attack. That would suck. That would suck. I mean, it would all suck. Because in order to stop going on this path that we're on as humans, we need a reset. We need a meteor.
Right.
We need a... we don't need, but something would have to be, like a real pandemic. Right. This was nothing. This could have been a real like a Black Plague type hardcore, just really killing. Like, what they feared this was going to be at first, even worse. Like, this could have been a pandemic that wiped out, I don't know. Who even knows? But still wouldn't have wiped out technology.
Right. I don't know, man.
Unless it was real crazy. Unless it started wiping out, like, could you imagine if this thing was like wiping out 30 or 40% of people?
Yeah.
Including kids. What would happen to society then? Shit, people would break down and like just isolate themselves, right? And just try to live off, like, it'd be...
Well, yeah, I mean...
Maybe.
This, what I find interesting is
if you want any of this coffee at any point, just let me know.
Okay. Do you have another mug out?
I do have. I brought a mug down here for you.
I might. You know what? Let's gamble a little bit.
Yeah.
I told Ryan before we started that I've had like a criminal amount of coffee already today, and I'm worried, but
it's not too strong.
Yeah.
Is black okay?
Yeah.
Because I do have cream and sugar.
Dude, that's something that, like, so I got on medication a couple of years ago, and one of the side effects of the medication that I take is that it dries me out. So I kind of quit drinking coffee, but I started drinking those Bang energy drinks.
Really?
Yeah, and it got to where I was
Those aren't good for you.
No, they're horrible. And especially because they're like a pre-workout technically, and I'm someone who never works out. And so it would just I don't know psychologically what's wrong with me, why I would do that to myself, but I got seriously addicted to them, and it just would make my heart pound,
right.
And I'm lucky that it didn't kill me, because that would be, let's be honest, that's one of the lamest ways to kill yourself if you're gonna
accidentally kill yourself.
Yeah.
Might be kind of a baller way to go out if you're trying to commit suicide.
Dude, here's the
suicide by Bang.
Right. But I would be so disappointed if I overdosed on such a douchey drink.
Yeah.
When I could have died, doing cocaine or something. That would be so fucked up.
Yeah, that's you'd have to do it like as a statement. Like,
right.
Fuck you, Bang. You destroyed my family.
Yeah.
You destroyed my life. I'm going to kill myself on your energy drinks to make sure that's my ultimate.
I'm the Bang
fuck
savior.
You. Yeah, and I'm going to get you taken off the market.
The Bang Jesus. Yeah.
Bang martyr.
I can't even fathom a lamer way, because rock stars and stuff, they die on drugs and or shooting themselves, which is badass. But you
are throwing up on themselves.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's not even.
Yeah, Aaron died drinking a pre-workout, but not working
by drinking
out.
12 Bang energy drinks in a matter of an hour.
Yeah. What's lamer than that? He choked on some hummus or something. He choked on quinoa.
Oh, there was Mama Cass.
Mama Cass?
You know Mama Cass?
No.
Oh, well, Mama Cass is just how you might picture her. Think of a big old fat Southern woman with a moo-moo.
Okay.
Think of that woman.
Uh-huh.
She died choking on a ham sandwich.
Did she?
Sure did.
Was she a celebrity? Is there a reason why we're talking about her?
No, I don't know.
She's just she was famous
just a big fat woman that died on a ham sandwich.
On a ham sandwich.
Wasn't a salad.
That is horrifying. People die from choking on stupid stuff.
You know why people die on choking?
Why?
They're embarrassed.
Yeah, I could see that.
Doctors. They've found doctors that have died in their office because they were choking to death because they were too embarrassed to get help. They were trying to give themselves a Heimlich or something.
Dude, that is so how I'm going to go out.
It's a fear of mine. It almost happened to me once. And the same thing. I was too afraid to ask for help. Mm-hmm. I was in a cafeteria, in a mall cafeteria, choking on a Chicago-style hot dog, waiting on my mom. Took too big of a bite. It's hot dogs. It's always hot dogs. Took too big of a bite, swallowed it, and it got lodged right there. And it wouldn't go up or down. I'm freaking out. Yeah. Making all the I'm looking around, but I'm not asking for anybody for help because it's kind of in shock, but you are kind of embarrassed. I can't let people know I'm choking. That's embarrassing. But why? No, save my life.
Dude, if you are to choke on something though, wouldn't you much rather die, go out eating a hot dog than, because hot dogs, I don't care what you say. They are delicious. They're so good.
I love Chicago dogs.
I know. I realize that they're disgusting, because of what goes in them or whatever, and they make you fat. But I would so much rather go out with a hot dog in my throat than quinoa or something.
No, see, I'm the opposite, man. That is too phallic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it'd be that's a funny way to die.
I don't want to die funny.
I don't. I would rather die funny than.
You don't want to die embarrassing funny. You don't want to be infamous.
What would be funnier though? Dying with a hot dog in your throat. Or,
I'd rather go out and bang energies than a fucking hot dog.
Dude, I would not.
That's a toss up, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what would be a funny way to die. What's a good funny way to die?
You know what I always used to think about Because like a couple of years ago, well, I've only been driving again for like a year, and everyone thinks that I, got a DUI or something. I never drove drunk at all. In fact, I quit driving because I created a life for myself where I could pretty much be drunk all the time, and just not have to worry about it.
You're a
I made
real
enough money
piece of
that
shit, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. You remember picking me up? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I used to walk around North Kansas City with my my Beats by Dre headphones.
Oh,
like
those are
those were my
dangerous.
pride and joy, and they're noise canceling. You can't hear anything. I would listen to everything full blast. So I figured and this was before all cops were bad too. But I would think about what if a cop wants to talk to me or something? I don't hear him. I'm just walking down the street and then, I don't stop and they just shoot me. I used to think about that all the time. Which that would be kind of, apart from the specifics of the situation, it would be kind of badass to go out that way. But do you ever start a sentence and you're like, by the time I'm done with this sentence, I'm going to be in dangerous territory. We can move on from that.
Yeah. So what would be a funny way to die? There are good ways to die in different ways, of course. But is there can you think of where you would laugh, but not because funny, stupid, but just funny? What a good way to die.
Yeah. Absurd. I mean, most of my ideas come from choking right now. Just different things to choke on.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Boy, if anybody listening has any ideas, shoot me some ideas of a funny way to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been on been talking about death a lot lately. Had a psychic on last week, and she was talking about near-death experiences, and I've been watching a couple near-death things on YouTube. Yeah.
I think that if you can remain level-headed, it's a lot of fun to talk about death, but
Yeah, I mean, it can run the gambit of emotions, right? It can fill you with anxiety, or it can fill you with fear, or excitement, or curiosity. Yeah, it's. I think most people probably tend to kind of ignore it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's I think it's pretty natural to just procrastinate on processing that you're going to die,
It's the one thing we all procrastinate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a procrastinator
I'll
with
think about
everything.
that later. I mean, we think about we know in the back of our mind that time's going to run out eventually, but I don't want to think about that till I'm, at least in my 40s.
You're not in your 40s yet.
No. You know that. God damn it, dude. I struggle with especially in the past year, I have, my weight has fluctuated like back and forth 20 pounds,
Okay.
a million
That's
times.
significant. 20 pounds shows.
Yeah. No, it does for sure. I think in the summer I was down to 84.
That's good. You're pretty tall for that. That's a good weight for your height.
It's close. Yeah, it's close to where I should be. But when the pandemic started, I coped by I got back into ice cream out of nowhere, and I found this there at CVS. They sell these pints of Bluebell Cookie Two-Step, which is cookie dough and Oreo cookies in the same pint, and I would have one of those every night and just didn't think anything of it.
That's how you get fat right there.
Dude, yeah. It was just...
That'll get you. Ice cream will get you.
Yeah, I couldn't go to... It was I can't go to sleep without my ice cream.
Jeez.
And then, yeah, I blew up like a fucking balloon. And I got up over 200 again, and then I cut ice cream out of my diet and immediately lost like a ton of weight.
Just by cutting that out?
Yeah. And now I'm like maybe once a week ice cream.
There you go.
Person, you know.
Cut it down. Treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Earn it.
Now,
Earn
all
that
this
pint.
being said, I obviously like I have an addictive personality and I have binge eating issues, I think.
Okay.
And I recently have come to the realization, I'm pretty sure, people always think that their eating disorders and whatnot come from like their upbringing, like something that someone said to them or whatever. I have realized recently that Winnie the Pooh, like, do you remember the I think the movie is called The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
I grew up on that movie. I grew up on it.
It's got like several little stories within that. I have all these things that I do, these mannerisms, and like I do I tap my head with I go think. Yeah, I do that. When it's raining, I say tut tut. Looks like rain.
I do that too.
Yeah, and I completely forgot where that came from. I even sing the song, like I sing to my food sometimes. Like I'll sing to my food. I'll kind of riff the lyrics.
It's
by
up,
myself.
Down, touch the ground, puts me in
Dude,
the
I caught
mood
myself singing that. I
for
said
food.
Exactly. That song about he's like I am short, fat, and proud of that.
Yes.
Yeah. I all these things I didn't know where they came from, but I've done them all my life. And I watched that Winnie the Pooh the other day. Winnie the Pooh is the biggest influence on my life, and I had no idea. It's weird. Like Winnie the Pooh.
You're really Christopher Robin?
I don't think I'm Christopher Robin because I don't think my personality aligns with Christopher Robin.
You're the narrator?
No, I don't think I'm the narrator.
You're just Winnie the Pooh.
I'm literally Winnie the Pooh. And
he was addicted to honey.
He was addicted to honey. He
literally
he has,
addicted. He
he
has
has
addictive
an
personality.
eating disorder.
Yeah. And his addiction was honey.
Uh-huh.
Rabbit, let me get that honey off you. What do I got to do?
Yeah. He's got friends and stuff, but he doesn't, like, his priorities are the things that he ingests.
He's putting himself in danger. He's climbing trees, sticking his hand in beehives, getting stung.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Hey, Christopher Robin, come over. Let me borrow your shit so I can go get my fix real quick.
Right.
He drags Christopher Robin around to get his fix.
Right.
I need your umbrella. Paint me up like a cloud.
This is all kind of coming back to me, like,
a lot of manipulation going on there in Winnie the Pooh's mind.
Yeah, and he's always worried, like his friends, like Tigger and mainly Tigger, like, he'll show up at the house and it's like
Piglet's
Pooh's
his
worst
homeboy.
night. Yeah, Piglet is not really a problem.
Piglet's like his AA sponsor, but like is a horrible AA sponsor.
Yeah, he's weak. But. Yeah, do you have characters in fiction that you identify with?
That's a good question. Probably just Jesus.
Probably just Jesus. Okay, that's that's loaded.
Heyo.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
that was I've never.
These are jokes, people.
Yeah, they.
I'm not a comic, but I try to say funny things.
We don't. I think the world has enough comedy. I don't. I'm a
me?
part. I think. Yeah. I think that we
me?
should have stopped accepting new comics after I started. But
I've been writing all kinds of things, man. I'm ready to go.
you know who else I identify with, like, to an insane level is Bilbo Baggins. Are you familiar with the story of the Hobbit and
The Hobbit.
Lord of the
Okay,
Rings?
which one is Bilbo? Is he the guy with the ring?
Well, so yeah,
The main character, Elijah Wood.
No, that's Frodo. So Frodo is Bilbo's nephew.
Okay.
But Bilbo is the protagonist of The Hobbit, and the reason why I identify with him is because he's kind of like by nature he's like a scared, just kind of a wuss of a person. He's a hobbit.
I know who
he
you're talking
doesn't
about.
he doesn't start out with any desire to go on an adventure or anything like that. And then in the Hobbit, like he just involuntarily is thrown into this extraordinary adventure that changes his whole life and everything. But there's a part, like, this is embarrassing that it makes me cry. But there's a part in the Hobbit where he's presented with this opportunity to go on an adventure. And he says no, of course. He loves the comfort of his own home and all that. But he would rather stay home with his food and his, the comfort of he lives in a hobbit hole. And there's a scene in the first Hobbit movie, which is wonderful. The second two are horrible. But there's a scene where he's already told them no. It's the morning after everyone crashed his house. There's all these dwarves that came and ate all his food, and they're about to go on an adventure, and he was invited, but he doesn't go. But he's sitting there amongst the comforts of his own home, and he just says, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm going." And that scene, as cheesy as that is, like, I think about that scene all the time, because to me that represents, like, me. I see every day, like, I have two paths. One path is where I stay home and watch movies and eat until I pass out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's I think that's one way my day can go. And the other the other path is the way of uncertainty and boldness and just getting out there and doing something. And I think about that daily. I don't think I've ever really talked about this, so I'm kind of talking myself through it right now. But yeah, that character I just identify with for some
Dude, that's
reason.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's
Yeah.
cool to have something to be able to think on and kind of get you kind of motivated or look at, get you out of bed to take that path.
All that being said, the food usually wins.
Comfort is very easy to succumb to.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
easy, but at least you have at least a little bit of motivation to at least not succumb to the creature comforts of being stuck at home all the time.
Right.
I mean, judging by just from what I know of you and watching you on social media, it seems like you're staying pretty active and taking that uncertain path more often than not.
Well, it's like on a week by week basis. Like I go through binge periods where I just eat until I pass out, like for a few days,
Mm-hmm.
like, and I just sleep. And then eventually something will happen where I'm like, dude, I have to do something. And I do. The only thing scarier than the prospect of failing is just being at the end of my life and being like, oh, I could have done something pretty cool. I was this close to opportunities, but I decided, I let the ice cream win.
Ooh, yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. I need to think about that more often. Too many times, I know I'll be on my deathbed just going, there's too many times, like, did you really get everything you wanted out of all those fucking video games?
Yeah.
I get sucked in. Like, video games that's always been my drug.
Yeah.
Like before.
My roommate's like that.
Oh my God, it's always like, I don't know. And again, I could probably break my childhood down to that too. Like your Winnie the Pooh example, I can go back to, at a very young age, just impressing people with my video game skills and getting like admiration for that and attention from that, and be like, oh shit, if I get good at video games, I get friends and love and all that good stuff.
That reminds me of booze. Like the first time I found booze, because I by nature am like a very reserved, don't talk to anyone, don't risk anything type of person. But when I found booze, I was like, oh my God,
Liquid courage.
Yeah, I was like, I'm popular, like I'm a cool dude.
Yeah.
And I just romanticized that forever.
Yeah.
And eventually like at the end of the day, like if I were the type of guy who was the end goal was just my 401k and owning a house or something like that, I would be an outrageous alcoholic still, I think. Because I could manage just having a regular job and
Functional alcoholic.
dude, for sure.
I've known plenty of them.
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
Yeah, I like partying and stuff like that, and but yeah, I think I think eventually I would end up. Have you ever seen True Detective?
No.
Really, dude, you should watch that.
It's on Showtime with
No, it's HBO.
HBO,
actually.
whatever. And
The first season is wonderful.
I remember hearing when it first came out, it was all the rage, but I don't have HBO.
Oh, really? Dude, I should give you my
Yeah.
my login. I am the most like so the Aaron that stays in and eats ice cream, like my biggest accomplishment as that character is my Amazon Prime Video channel or whatever, my profile, because I have everything on there. I allot an ungodly amount of money on all that. I don't touch like most of the channels, and most of the time when I watch something, I fall asleep within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I cannot like. I'm a digital collector on there. I have all these movies that I must have, like depending on what mood I'm in. Like I love falling asleep to space movies, so like I have all the Alien movies, and those are my favorite movies to fall asleep to.
I love science fiction. I love space.
Dude, science fiction that's kind of, it used to be horror was my favorite genre. I think I'm a sci-fi guy now.
I could never get into horror. It's too
Really?
Yeah, it just I don't know. Nothing scares me.
Yeah.
I mean, things in life certainly scare me. I had a nightmare last night. It scared me. Oh, woke me up. Oh, it was so real. Oh.
What scares you worse, with horror, like the supernatural stuff or home invasion type of thing, or what's your big fear?
My big fear in life?
Well, I'm talking more from a horror film perspective, but yeah, I guess what are your nightmares made of?
Well, last night I had a legit nightmare. Woke me up like I was. It was so weird. I don't know where it came from. I was on a raft with my ex-wife. She was on a raft. She was sitting on it with our daughter, and I was sitting next to it. It wasn't like a raft, like a good, nice raft. It was just a flotation flat thing.
Yeah.
Like a pool raft.
Yeah.
And I'm swimming along, holding onto with my arm, kicking and swimming, powering it. And all of a sudden, my ex-wife goes, "Oh, there's a sandbar coming up right there." I go, "Oh," and I let go and turn around, and all of a sudden my daughter falls off. She doesn't have a life jacket on, starts sinking, and I don't realize it. My ex-wife goes, "Oh my gosh," and she plunges down, but she can't go very far. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then so I all I see is my daughter sinking, and then I need to go after her, and then I woke up. Oh,
dude.
It's so real. It feels so real, like
Yeah.
they're right there, and it's just like, I've seen my kids die multiple times in my dreams, and it just sucks. So that's my biggest fear. My biggest fear is losing my kids is losing one of my kids, or just something like that. Just it wakes me up at night.
Right. I think as a kid, it's like the opposite. Like you have dreams about like losing your parents, or I did anyway. I also had a recurring dream when I was a child that I was being chased by witches.
Okay.
And I'm not a religious guy. I probably would identify as agnostic. But when it comes to horror movies, witchcraft for some reason just scares the hell out of me. And I don't believe in witches or anything like that.
You would have liked the psychic I had on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and listen to that because that does sound very interesting. But yeah, like there's a horror movie. It's actually probably my favorite movie. Period. Like I think it's so well made. It's called Hereditary, and it's got Toni Collette, who just gives an amazing performance. And is
it fairly new? This movie?
It's like probably 3 or 4 years old at this point.
I think I've heard good things about
this. Dude,
I
saw it 3 times in theaters.
Okay.
Like,
oh wow.
And it was because I saw something, and at this point I was just like a big horror movie fan, and I just couldn't believe that I could still see something that scared me so bad.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, movies I don't get scared by movies.
Dude, you know what? I don't want to spoil anything. If you're listening to this,
yeah, don't spoil it because I'll watch it. I'll
watch it.
I'll try to get. I mean, I'll put myself in the right frame of mind to try to get scared, or I'll turn the lights off. I'll watch it at nighttime.
Yeah. Horror movies
alone.
Typically, they follow a formula that's been proven to sell. And Hereditary is refreshing because they do things in that movie, like one specific thing happens early on in the movie, and you'll notice when you watch it, it's just something that is not supposed to happen in a movie, especially in today's, it's just the most shocking moment you've ever seen, and it sets the tone for the rest of the movie, and it continuously, the situation gets worse and worse. It's just horrifying. It's horrifying. I think that's that's what I look for in good art or anything. It's like, dude, the worst thing you can do at this point is be predictable.
Yeah, I can't stand that. That's why I almost don't read fiction anymore.
Yeah. Well, they all follow a formula and stuff like that. I think that's why Game of Thrones is so cool, honestly, because, and I think about this often. There's a book that I read when I was in college, towards the end of college, and it's called The Unbearable Lightness of Being.
I've heard of that.
It's like a postmodern, classic. And it's honestly I was the most obnoxious hipster you've ever met in college. Now I'm probably still obnoxious, but for different reasons. But the unbearable lightness of being.
Not to me, you're not.
Well,
I love you, Aaron.
I appreciate that. I love you too. But I have my moments. And I only say this because I'm insecure about bringing up the unbearable lightness of being, because if you're aware of that culture, it's almost like bringing up the Arcade Fire or something. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I've heard about this.
Arcade Fire?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I was in college, that was just like the stereotypical hipster band to be into,
Okay. I don't know. I was never really around the hipster world or into that. I
wasn't either. I thought I was the world because I was at Northwest Missouri State, and that's in Maryville, so I was around a bunch of hicks and stuff like that. And I, on some level, I was just trying so hard to be interesting, and
stand out.
I was reading new stuff and
that's
just
that
trying
age
to be cool.
Yeah, that's I think perfectly typical. I mean, you get that age, you're on your own, you're in college, you start learning about these new things, and your brain is not fully developed yet, so it's going all these different ways. Oh, I'm gravitating towards this because it just is cool to me.
Right.
Can't help it.
The reason I started talking about unbearable lightness, so there's a passage in that book. It's like a romantic comedy type of book, but it's the most it's a very negative story. The protagonist cheats on the women that he's with. He's not a likable
I'm looking
character.
for new books.
You should check. I mean,
I'm gonna write this
maybe
down.
check it out.
I will. I'm gonna write it down and I'm gonna get it. I just finished a book the other day that I didn't love. There's more than this.
Yeah,
Is what it was called. It's about kind of simulation theory type stuff, but it wasn't great.
that sounds interesting.
It could have been better. Could have been a lot better.
There's
Go
a,
on. I'm
there's
gonna
a
just write this down. Here.
well, so there's a passage in Unbearable Lightness of Being, and I haven't looked it up since I read it, but it is burned into my memory so much because I found it so interesting, and it kind of defines how I rate good art.
Okay.
But basically, he starts by talking about how it's sacrilegious to discuss whether or not Jesus Christ took shits.
Okay.
And things of that nature. You know, anything that's supposedly gross, but is natural. And if he was a man, you know, he definitely took shits. He probably masturbated. You know, all this
No,
stuff.
that he didn't do because he was sinless, and masturbating is a sin.
Well, you get what I'm saying, though. Like,
Yeah, he took
it's
shits.
just,
It's not a
we're
sin to
not
shit.
supposed to talk about it. You know, we're not supposed to talk about anything like that, or
Some churches would say that. Yeah.
right. So the point being, that's the author. I think his name's Milan Kundera. That's his definition of kitsch. So kitsch is like it's the enemy of art. It's stuff like, you know, chicks that put up live, laugh, love on their wall. Like that's a good example of kitsch.
Mm-hmm.
So his definition of what kitsch is the denial of shit. That's
Okay.
at its simplest form. It's the denial of anything
Pull
bad.
this up a little bit closer for it.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. There you go.
It's just living in denial.
Okay.
And I think about that with like Game of Thrones, why Game of Thrones was so popular and why it's just, I know that it fell off or whatever as a TV show towards the end, but you know, we had this like fantasy world, but all these horrible things are happening. And, you know, no character in Game of Thrones is just a good guy, really, you know? I love that about it. It's bad things happen. They don't deny that. It's realistic. While, you know, still having dragons and magic and stuff. There's a realism to it. And I don't know. That's
Do you listen to audiobooks or do you read?
So I recently have tried listening to audiobooks for the first time because I've gotten way into podcasts in the past year for some reason.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah.
We can get to that.
Right. You know, I've gotten way into listening to spoken word and podcasts and stuff. I recently tried, because I like Cormac McCarthy, the author. He wrote No Country for Old Men, The Road, and I've always wanted to read Blood Meridian, but I tried listening to it. I don't retain shit when I listen to an audiobook, you know?
What are you doing when you listen to it?
Painting.
Okay, that's probably why.
Yeah. I'm trying to, because
It's hard, yeah.
It's important
When
to
else
me
are
to
you
be
gonna listen?
productive,
Yeah.
and, you know, I want to be doing something, but
you can't just sit there like an idiot listening to a book.
Right. I don't retain anything. I couldn't tell you anything about it, and I listened to like half of the book. Like, you know?
That's too bad. That's too bad. I was going to turn you on to an amazing book series that would, you'd really, 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 really like.
Really? What is that?
It's called Red Rising.
Okay.
That's the first book, and then it's like the first book is basically Game of Thrones meets Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, the series completely changes to more like sci-fi, because it's in outer space, sci-fi and political and action and love. It's phenomenal. It's just it's so fucking good. I've read a lot of books, and it's by far my favorite.
Dude, what's your do you have like a your top sci-fi movies?
This one goes along with one of my top books. They did a movie into it from the book, Sphere by Michael Crichton.
Really?
The book's phenomenal. They tried with the movie, and the movie's still pretty good. I like that movie.
Is that the guy who wrote Jurassic Park? Okay.
He did ER.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch that back in the day?
No.
Oh, that was like.
Is it good?
It was amazing, and that was like the show.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, like one of those shows that Thursday nights that everyone had to watch or something.
Sure.
The Martian was pretty good. I don't know. I'd have to go through a list and go through them. I can't think of any on the top of my head.
You know who I've gotten into? The movies of I think his name's Paul Verhoeven. So like Total Recall, Basic Instinct, which isn't sci-fi, but it's still phenomenal. I think.
Sharon Stone,
dude, yeah. That's a great thriller.
That is a good thriller.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that probably since when it first came out. I watched it when I wasn't supposed to watch it.
Yeah.
It was like on HBO or Cinemax or something, and I was babysitting. And it happened to be on. I was like, oh, Sharon Stone is so hot.
It's apparently an erotic thriller, but let's be honest, anything with Sharon Stone in it is erotic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she was so hot back in the day. She's still hot.
She's like a goddess.
Mm-hmm. There's a few of them older gals like that are still like just holding it together.
Dude, have you ever gotten into Starship Troopers?
The movie?
The movie, yeah.
The movie was great.
The movie is wonderful.
The movie was fun. It was stupid but fun.
Yeah, well, it is stupid. Like it's goofy.
Yeah.
But if you look at it through the lens of satire, it's like Full Metal Jacket in space. And it's clearly like supposed to be that. Yeah, I think they even use some of the same actors. Like,
oh yeah,
like.
It was good. I liked it.
Dude, I got way into that. I've watched it like 3 times in the past year. Yeah, it's basically like it's almost like they predicted the war in Iraq with that movie. Like if you watch it through that lens, that's another Paul Verhoeven.
Okay,
that's super good.
Yeah, you got all in the movie.
RoboCop, he made RoboCop, which is wonderful. I think it's
a lot of people love RoboCop.
It's ridiculous.
It's a classic 80s.
Yeah,
classic 80s. Really.
Yeah.
What more can you say?
For sure. Have you ever, in your podcast listening, have you ever listened to Chapo Trap House?
No. Why does that sound familiar though?
It's one of the biggest podcasts, in the world. The reason I bring this up is because they did an episode where they talked about Avatar, and I wrote off Avatar because when it came out, I was not like I figured I had not delved into James Cameron really. I wasn't into the Alien. He made Aliens or Terminator or anything like that. I just knew him from Titanic, and I didn't.
Titanic was great.
I never really watched Titanic at that time, and I just figured it would be something that I would hate.
Have you watched it? Did you watch it since? Though?
I have watched
as an adult with an open mind.
I've watched clips of it, and
dude, sit down and watch it.
I know.
It's fucking good. It's good.
Well, James Cameron's the man, and when I listened to this Chapo Trap House episode about Avatar, like I rewatched it. Looking at it in a different way. And I was like, dude, this is like, it's more than just a visual good movie. Mm-hmm. Like there are some profound statements and like some bold ass statements being made in this movie that aren't normally being made. And I don't want to be a hack and just like go over these talking points that they came up with, but you should watch, if you haven't watched Avatar, like I would highly recommend listening to that episode of Chapo and then like watch the movie because it is cool.
Did you ever watch Dancing with Wolves?
Dances with Wolves. I have.
Kevin Costner.
I feel like I have watched that at some point.
You should watch that. It's very similar to Avatar.
Yeah.
And then did you ever watch Fern Gully?
The
cartoon.
I definitely watched that as a child, but I don't
That's
remember.
Avatar too.
Is it?
Yeah, they're all the same.
Well,
they're good. This is an archetype, you know.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, but it's Ferngully and Dance with Wolves, which are great movies. And
right.
It is. I've brought this up before on the podcast, but it's worth bringing up again because I think it's fascinating. Was after when Avatar came out, that was the first, I think, maybe one of like only 2 movies I've watched in 3D. Because that came out, you had to watch that one in 3D. That was like the big thing. That was like the first big 3D movie came out. Everyone watched.
Yeah, that was the thing.
And so I did that. Everybody did that, and it was so the colors were so bright, the world was so awesome, it was free, everything was, you felt immersed. They did studies after that. There was a thing called Avatar depression.
Really?
Where people got depressed after coming out of that movie for a little bit because then they came into this world.
Yeah.
They got done with this being into this bright blue, colorful world, and then they came out and they're like, oh, Avatar depression.
Avatar depression.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like, dude,
That's
no movie looks like Avatar.
How gangster is James Cameron to make a movie so badass he caused people depression when they left it?
And that guy of course like has a huge ego, but I mean, he is as far as directors go, he's a shit-kicking badass who, like, when he makes a movie, you know, he does not make slop, you know. I recently I've been watching the Terminator movies as well, like just the first 2, but
I never watched
by
them.
him.
Never got into
really.
Them. Never really tried them. I've seen clips, of course, and of course aware of I'll be back.
Yeah.
But I've never really watched it. It does look like it would be a good story, but I just don't know if it holds up. Does it hold up?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think so. It's a James Cameron film, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he, of course, like, the special effects were top notch for the time. But, like, you know, in Terminator 2, like, the lightning and stuff, like, looks pretty shitty if you watch it now. But, no, it's good science fiction.
Nice.
Yeah,
So we got all that from Chapo Trap House, it's called. That's the podcast.
dude, that's a great show. Like,
now,
it's...
the Chapo Trap House is?
Yeah.
All right, well, now check this out. Watch this transition right here.
Okay.
I've been listening to a podcast called ScarbyQ.
Oh, boy.
Hey!
Yeah.
A little more competition in the Kansas City podcast scene.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Not much, though. And it's only 20 minutes.
Yeah, I've been listening.
We tried to... Really?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're talking to... You had the Rhino manager on.
Yeah. Well, he's he produces the show, Ben Wendt, and he is, you know, as far as audio stuff goes, like, he is just a master of that. And we don't have, like, a real studio that we do it in, but it sounds like...
It sounds good.
Yeah. The sound is wonderful. I don't know how many episodes you've checked out, but we started that, and it was basically just like put a microphone on me and let me ramble and do bits for 20 minutes. Lately, we've been kind of more talking about stuff, kind of like what we're doing right now. Yeah. It's a little more evened out. It started out as a rant, and those episodes are fine. It just kind of became a little bit too much.
It's hard to do a one man.
Well, the main the point of my of ScarbyQ, the podcast, is to like not wasting people's time. You know, that's why it's 20 minutes. That's why I try to like I don't. I like this type of podcast that we're doing right now, but I think there's, especially if you're if you're at my level, which is low man on the totem pole, I think it's a little too much to ask to get people to listen to me just kind of dick around, you know?
I think 20 minutes is perfect. I think that's a great amount of minutes for a podcast. You know?
Yeah.
Especially, it's going to sound funny, but especially in Kansas City, because when you get in your car, anywhere you go, it's going to take you 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's a good
point. So
point.
It's perfect for listening in the car.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that. It's weird. The people who listen to that, like the following that I've kind of gained in the past year has mainly come from this. I got a contract, like a pretty cool contract deal with an art supply company.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into their studio. They filmed me painting and doing like kind of a Bob
I've
Ross
seen
type
some of
thing.
those, yeah.
Yeah. So that really like gave me a bunch of new followers on Instagram and stuff like that.
People who normally wouldn't.
Right.
Check you
But
out.
the weird thing is, because of their the market that I was just kind of gifted through that, it's a lot of just like bored housewives. So it's weird to think like a lot of these people listening aren't, like mouth breathing, incel comics or whatever.
You're not an incel. You're getting laid. Come
right.
on.
No, I'm just I'm exaggerating, but
Yeah.
I would think the people who would actually listen to my podcast would be like that, but it's not actually like that. It's like Midwestern housewives and stay-at-home moms and stuff, which is kind of cool. I think.
Send them my way.
Yeah.
I don't care how lonely you are.
There are
ladies.
some
Come
of them.
on down.
There are some that kind of follow everything that I do, so I'm sure that when I post that I'm on this show that they'll listen. And if you are one of those moms, then subscribe to this podcast.
I'm your daddy.
Yeah, he normally doesn't act like that.
No, yes, I do. Don't lie to him.
Yeah.
Don't lie to these people. I'm open, all warts and all, man. I'm so, you know what I mean.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's a fun. No, I have listened to a few episodes. I haven't listened to all of them, but I subscribe and download to all of them.
Yeah.
I listen to. I like it.
I
Yeah, how
appreciate
fun
that.
is that? What made you want to do that? Just hey, quarantine's going on. Corona, like, let me just start doing other shit.
I've always wanted to do podcasts, kind of, but I never wanted to
Do it.
do the technology part,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And Ben offered to
Dope.
just produce it for me,
Nice.
so it's like there's no reason not to. And it's been pretty successful for the, for what it is, and yeah, it's a way for me to kind of vent, and with lack of stage time right now, it gives me something to kind of write for a little bit. So yeah, I love it.
Nice.
I love doing it.
Right now we're like on the 1 year anniversary of the show. At the Rhino there.
Oh,
Can you
shoot.
see that over there?
Yeah.
And then look at this. Got your art up here.
Yeah.
You get to see that. That's not what I wanted to say, though.
Brandon hates that picture.
Does he?
Yeah, he
Why? I
does.
love it.
So I have a problem, with when I paint people, I naturally, they say the camera adds 10 pounds or whatever.
Oh, he thinks that's a little fat? He thinks he's a little fat there?
Yeah, and I can see it, like I was not kind to his face, but
Well, just
That's
now
not-
he can just tell people he lost weight since then.
yeah, true.
That's all.
Yeah.
I love that. You do amazing art. I've told you that a million times. That's my favorite style. That's my favorite.
Really?
I love when you do like that blows me away when you do. What was that, charcoal or
Oh, it's just
pencil,
graphite, but yeah,
whatever the hell it
I
is.
like-
Yeah, that blows
Yeah.
me away that you
Oh,
can do
man,
that.
Thank you. I wish I had time to do more stuff like that. But it's very time consuming to do drawings and for very little payoff, Like a drawing won't sell for what a painting sells for,
Okay. Yeah.
I've gotten by necessity, cuz I pay my bills with mainly art and then a little bit of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not selling pieces for $2,000 or more than that. Like I've never sold it. Just to be clear, if I can tattle on myself, I've never sold a painting for $2,000. But I do these commissions for not that much money, and so to pay my bills, I have to paint fast, and it's actually a pretty good way to work because you get really good at painting fast and painting well,
Nice. Yeah.
And also when you do commissions, like you have to paint stuff that you would no rational person would ever, paint. So you develop skills that you wouldn't have if you were just doing what you want all the time. So
How long does it take? Like if I say, "Hey, I want a blah blah blah," how long will that take you to get delivered to somebody?
to get delivered, I
yeah.
mean, what?
Yeah,
So-
everything, the whole process. Aaron, this is what I want. I want a picture of me doing this with that.
Right. I mean that can vary so much. I'm still, there are still some projects that I was supposed to have done by the beginning of January that I haven't got done and stuff. But I find that the main thing is just communicating with people. As long as you let them know, hey, I'm still working on this. This is going to be late and stuff like that. People are very generous, and they, people aren't commissioning me to do art the same way that they would buy something from Wayfair or whatever.
Right. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
It's a personal piece. They understand.
Yeah, they want to support an artist, and it's awesome, dude. I remember last year when those first Trump checks came out, man. I made so much money because people who had jobs had this guilt, and thank God for it. But they're like, I want to put this, somewhere where in something that I believe in, and I made so much money.
Nice.
Now this round, like the 600 people, and also people are a little bit broke after Christmas and stuff. It has not been as great, but yeah, I definitely noticed an uptick whenever those first
Me too. I'm a mailman.
checks came out.
Everybody on my route anyway spent their $600 on Amazon.
Yep.
That was fucking brutal.
I don't order from Amazon anymore like I used to. I used to be addicted to that big time.
Yeah, everybody else
Just
is.
constantly, every day of the week, like
I
I
know.
had. That was back when I had a job. But.
So speaking of the Rhino, doing your podcast there and stuff, I noticed that they're kind of open now. Like they were closed for COVID, and now is it fully open, or is it just for curbside drinks, or how does it work right now?
So
You don't mind being a spokesperson for them, do you?
I don't care, dude. They've done so much for me. But the Rhino is they've kind of revamped their business, and it's not what it used to be. And I don't mean that as a bad thing, but they have separate businesses within that building now. So there's a grilled cheese restaurant called Cheesy Street in the Rhino. It's like a walk-up window. You go get sandwiches and stuff, and then there's a coffee. Post coffee. I don't know if you've had their stuff, but they have moved into the space during the day. So during the day, it's like post coffee. You go in there and you can get your lattes or whatever, and then at night, the bar is open, and that's not called Colony anymore like it used to be.
Okay.
It's called Cultivar. As far as the other side of the Rhino, I know that they're gearing up to start doing shows as soon as it's safe and they can do that. As of right now, there are no real like concerts and stuff going on in there. There's like there's a couple photographers who work out of there and an audio engineer, and of course like Ben and I use that side of the place to record our stuff. But if you want to support that business, you can go have drinks there, get coffee, cheese.
Nice. They don't have any idea on what it means to be safe on when they can open the stage side up.
They kind of.
I miss open night, man. I want open mic night to come back.
Oh, right. Well, whenever they've been pretty smart about what's the phrase? Keeping it close to the vest on that. They hint about like it's right around the corner and stuff like that. But I understand why they're like this. I don't think they want to put their foot in their mouth and
Right.
Make a promise that they can't keep.
Sure.
Because there are so many people in this community who are just dying for that aspect to be available again.
Right.
Especially
People want
musicians.
Live
Like-
music. People want live music. People want to perform it. People want to watch it.
Yeah.
I crave it. I miss it. I'm still going out when I can. There's still a few spots here and there you can catch some live
Knuckleheads is
stuff.
open, right?
I don't know.
I know
haven't
they
checked
were
out
earlier in
Knuckleheads.
the year.
I've never been to Knuckleheads.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
It's a great place to hang out.
I've been to this place called the Phoenix.
Yeah. Wait, that's like a jazz.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do stuff there.
Is the foundation open?
I don't know what that is.
Like the Mutual Musicians Foundation.
Oh,
it's like
an 18th.
it's like
I don't think it is. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I don't know for sure. I know some place like Green Lady Lounge. They're open, but they're not doing live music.
that sucks.
Yeah, it does. Where's the other place I saw live music? Parlor's doing it.
Man, what an unfortunate like name for a a business for mainly millennials. It's like the same name as like the free speech app or whatever that kind of, I don't mean to go down another rabbit hole, but now when we hear Parlor, we don't think of that hip cafeteria or whatever.
Yeah, I kind of still do. I never got on Parlor but I do know what you're talking about though.
Yeah.
Free speech, Twitter alternative, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing for comedy? You said you're working at a comedy club.
Dude, as far as the two main clubs in town, the Comedy Club of KC, that's like my home club.
Okay.
Now, like
really?
I'm a regular there.
Nice.
They don't have like a giant roster of comics.
Oh, before we get into that, I hate to cut you off, but
on.
I've been meaning to say this forever because I haven't seen you face to face, but
yeah.
Congratulations on winning.
Oh, the thing.
The best comic in Kansas City for the pitch. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's so awesome. Like
I appreciate that.
I know I congratulate you when it happened, but I want to do it face to face.
Right.
Yeah, I completely forgot. I haven't had you on since, but
right.
dude, that's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Winner. A pitch winner, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are the best comic in Kansas City.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I'm not. I always feel so like no matter what you say in one of these situations, you're gonna come off like a dick. But
you won. Own it. You're not going to win next
you.
year. You're not going to win next year. So just take the time you're going to win it this
yeah.
year. Not for any reason. Not because you're not funny. Just
right.
I don't think it works that way.
No.
It's hard to win back to back in a lot of these things. Unless you're like a giant.
Except for the Chiefs, they're gonna win back to back.
Yeah.
Well, when is this?
Well, this will be in a few weeks.
A few weeks.
Probably
okay.
3 weeks. I got my psychic coming out tomorrow. Another comedy. You're following a comic. You're following a touring comic. This is the biggest comic I've ever had on.
Really? Who?
Shane Moss.
Shane Moss.
You don't know him?
I actually don't.
Oh, he's been on
that's
Rogan.
Embarrassing.
Can you believe I've had someone on my podcast that's been on Rogan?
Yeah. No. Is he coming through town to? Is
no,
he doing
he's
the?
quarantined as hell.
Oh,
He was
I
doing
gotcha.
this. He used to do this. He's really big into science, and he's got a podcast called Here We Now. Or Here We Are. Yeah, Here We Are. And he talks to different scientists.
Right.
And he did like this science comic traveling show. He went to like 64 cities.
Good Lord.
And just like he was through here, like, and then just, doing these cool science comedy shows.
Yeah.
He's super smart, really funny, touring comic. But right now he's taking this super serious because he talks to real scientists and epidemiologists, and he's like, I'm just doing what they're doing, and I'm just like quarantined at my parent. Like he's living with his parents right now because he's out of a job. He won't tour.
Yeah.
So he's basically just doing this podcast, and he says he's actually moving back to LA soon and going to do another podcast with actually maybe the dude. No, this other guy. But then I got a couple other guys I think I might be having. I shouldn't say it out loud.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have tentatively. I got a couple other comics lined up. John Caparulo. Chappelle. Somebody.
Okay.
I forgot his last name, and then one other person. I can't remember his name.
Well, that's. I mean, you've done. You've gotten a lot of good comics from KC. In the past year, I remember Janelle was here.
Janelle's here. Me and her hit it off.
Yeah,
we were talking about trying to start our own little show.
Yeah.
A YouTube channel of like going to happy hours around Kansas City. And
That would be fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
But she's so busy right now.
She is, yeah.
But yeah, I had her on. She's hilarious.
I'm gigging with her next month.
Nice.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I love having comics on. Yeah, I was really curious. I was wanting your insights on where the state of comedy is in Kansas City right now. Like, where are we at? Like, how? Like, is it full booked up? Like, what are shows like? Like, is it safe?
Dude, so I've started, like I said, my home club and the club that books me more than anyone is the Comedy Club of KC, and they're wonderful. They've, really like given me so many opportunities in the past year. I got to open for, Jay Muse from Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, I saw your post about that. How is he? Is he cool?
So
Go on.
to be honest, with Jay, I think he's a cool guy. But I did not. He's like a storyteller type. It didn't feel like working with a regular stand-up comic, because that's like my favorite thing. Like hanging out in the green room with these guys, talking about jokes and stuff like that. He mainly he tours on his storytelling show.
Okay.
And he also he takes the pandemic very seriously, and he didn't want openers in the green room, so I didn't end up talking to him at all. I gave him a fist bump after each set, and that was it.
Okay.
But still, I mean, it was a cool thing. Like, I got because those shows were sold out, so I got a lot of exposure and
Nice.
and
That's
stuff like
that's
that.
big.
But yeah, but as far as your question about where comedy's at around town, I've also started working at the KC Improv. I've done a couple weekends there in the past month or two. I got to do one show with Chris Porter, which was awesome. He's from Kansas City originally. I don't know if you know him.
I know who he is.
If you could get him, that'd be an awesome guest to have.
Okay.
But yeah, these clubs, they're fighting to make a profit and stay alive, and they're doing a great job at it.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
My friend Dustin Kaufman over at the Comedy Club of KC, that's an independent club, and he, it was a struggle for a little while, towards the beginning of the pandemic, to just make sure that they were keeping the seats full and stuff. But he, he's fought through it, and they're doing well.
Where are both of these places located?
So the Comedy Club of KC is down on 103rd and State Line, and then the Kansas City Improv is up at Berry Road, like Zona Rosa.
Boy, they couldn't be further apart.
No, yeah, they're now. One's
way up north, one's way down south.
It takes me about 25 minutes to get to Comedy Club of KC, and it takes me 15 to get to the Kansas City Improv. There's also a smaller club in Raytown now. It's called Legends Comedy Club and Sports Lounge, and I haven't gotten work there yet, but I went to the open mic like a couple weeks ago, and it's a fun room.
Okay, how was that? How big was the open mic? Compare it to the Rhino, because that's all I know. Dude,
I mean, there were probably like 20 comics signed up. It's a lower capacity room, but it's more intimate, Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a cool vibe, and it was nice. It's definitely a different scene than the other spots in town, but I don't mind it. I wouldn't mind working there. I think it'd be fun. But I need to get out of town. I'm not talking about
yeah, get the hell out of here.
I would like to there's a club in Arkansas that I get
Yeah,
you
you've
know,
mentioned
I
that
get
one.
work at a little bit. And I would like to go down there pretty soon. Not for a long period of time, just do a weekend, come back. But
Get any when I first talked to you, I think when I first had you on the show, you were talking about your lady friend.
yeah.
And I said, stay away from ladies.
Yeah, right?
You still with
Yeah.
her?
No.
You with anybody?
No, you know, and
Good.
yeah.
Good.
Valentine's Day is coming up.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. You're saving money.
All right.
These bitches don't need anything.
Right.
I'm kidding, ladies. I love you all.
Right.
Just not on Valentine's Day.
No. Yeah, I haven't. It's not a big priority. I got mad at the apps because they kept like sometimes I know that I'm not Ryan Gosling, but sometimes these apps you get like I don't know how they rank you or whatever. I'm sure it's fucked up their criteria, but like they just like they'll just send like all the options that I have or the people that like me or whatever. Like Hinge is what I'm really talking about.
Yeah.
It's just like they send me just garbage, like. And I don't mean like this isn't an attack on these girls, but it's like I know for a fact, like objectively, I'm too good.
You're more attractive than what their app is showing.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, this is not my league. Like,
Right,
I'm
right.
above this. Like,
Yeah.
I might not be like playing pro ball here, but
Right,
come on,
right.
I'm not. I'm not in the junior varsity.
And also,
here.
yeah, why won't they throw a guy a bone? Like it's it's
Well-
ridiculous. Like I have personality. Like I know I'm not like the most stable, and I don't, I don't own a house or anything that
They don't
like a
have to know that.
30-year-old should probably do
Yeah,
in Kansas City.
Ain't worry about
But
that.
I have spirit, baby.
You got spirit. Well, we'll have to take a look at your profile. We can sauce it up a bit. It might be your profile.
Yeah.
You got pictures of you up on stage.
Yeah,
You just need one of those. Let people know. Oh my God, this guy's interesting. He does stuff on stage. You need to have pictures of you. We'll have to get you like in front of like a nice car.
Dude, you know what has changed? Like I do meet girls after shows when I perform now. Like I used
Because you're
to
making
not.
people laugh more.
Well, yeah, I think that there's something to that. But I also used to. I'm so tired of like just straight up like self-deprecative humor or whatever.
You're over that.
I'm tired of that.
Because
Like
you're not getting laid afterwards, right?
right. Well, and it's
If you
just
got a joke about antidepressants and your
That's-
dick not working,
right.
no girl's gonna come up and ask you to.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I know that every comic's like first 5 minutes or whatever is just making fun of their appearance. That's like how you start,
Fuck, I messed up.
But
That's
it's
not
just
where
like-
I went.
Right. Well, you're a psychopath, but
True.
But like I'm tired of that type of humor, and I've started. My stage presence changed over the past year, which is good because I didn't write any material per se. I was super lazy with that, but I was like, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna get good at being on stage, and something shifted, and all of a sudden, like I meet girls after the show, and that's cool, but on an app you can't really. If I were a girl and I was swiping through and I saw some guy like, comedian or whatever, I would be like, this guy's probably a fucking loser,
Entertainer.
Like, yeah, this guy,
That's what you put on there. Don't put comedian.
Right.
Put entertainer, professional entertainer.
sure, but
Yeah,
I don't
apps
know,
are
man.
tricky.
They
Apps
are.
are very superficial,
yeah,
and you got to play the game, I guess. I
Yeah.
love the apps. I do pretty good on the
I'm
apps.
sure
like-
you're a good looking dude.
Thanks,
And,
man.
Yeah. Also,
I really just hold pictures of just hundreds, just holding $100 bills in front of me, and that just,
yeah,
sugar daddy. Those are the texts I get.
really. That probably works pretty well for. Yeah, I've noticed like not on apps per se, but just in life. The older I look, the more I age or whatever, the less bullshit I put up with. how do I put this? People just naturally treat you with more respect around here the older you are and the older you look or whatever. I've just noticed that as the years go by, the less people like just fuck with me, you know?
Okay.
And it's not for like I'm still like there's no consequences to fucking with me. I'm not gonna lash out or whatever. But I don't know. Do you find that like because you're a little bit older than me, not much, but you know, do you think people just naturally give you a little bit more respect, more of a benefit of the doubt?
I don't know, honestly.
Like, picture for some reason you have to hang out outside of a business. You know, when you're a young guy, especially if you look like a skateboarder or something, like, you know, the chances that someone who works there is going to come out and be like, what are you doing or whatever.
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as people get older, you give them the benefit of the doubt, especially if they don't, you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's why now is the time that I do all of my stealing and shoplifting. You never expect it from a 41-year-old clean-cut guy walking his daughter through the store. I just pocket shit all. You can give me some beef jerky.
Yeah.
I don't really do that.
I've never had the balls to actually like steal something. Morally, I would not feel anything if I did steal something from Walmart or whatever. I hate Walmart. I don't think that they're good. You know, I wouldn't. I don't see any moral reason to not steal from Walmart.
You should just do it. Just do a candy bar. They can't chase you.
Right.
Once you get past the door, they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Just do a candy bar. Just get a little rush. You're not gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
They're like, look, I'm how old are you? 26.
Right.
I'm 26. It's just a candy bar. I just wanted to, you know,
steal a candy bar,
Yeah.
give it to a homeless person. Then you're doing something good.
No, eat it. You're not Robin Hood.
Yeah.
It's just a candy bar. You're not changing the world.
Right.
You're doing it for a rush. Enjoy that candy bar. You earned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that note, let's end it.
Let's end it.
Everybody, go shoplift. I'm going to end this with my challenge to all of my listeners out there. And I don't know if this is legal or not. Let's just hypothetically say, I don't know, it's not hypothetical anymore. I think everybody should go out there and try and steal something this week.
Yeah, from Walmart.
No, I'm not going to say
do it for your
where.
community.
Just one candy bar.
Yeah.
Post a picture of it.
That would be pretty gangster.
It would be pretty gangster.
Yeah. Do that and then storm the Capitol.
Yeah. Aaron, where can people find you?
Just go to my Instagram. That's all I care about. That's the base of everything that I do. So it's bad_Aaron_Scarbrough, which is SCARBROUGH. And yeah, just go there. You'll talk to me or whatever. You
give him some love, ladies. He's single again.
Yeah.
Don't get tied down again. Just focus on your career.
I don't think I could get tied down if I wanted to. I think that when I'm at an age where if I meet someone, if they want to even pursue any sort of relationship, it's a very short amount of time before they figure out like, oh, this is not someone that I'm going to be able to settle down within a couple years and stuff like that.
Is that what happened? Is that why you guys broke up?
No, not. I mean, like it's complicated, but that's the story of every relationship that I have in this season of my life. Yeah. It's like,
go back.
Oh, this is not. Yeah, this is not stability and safety.
I think I said those exact words to you the first podcast. Right. Go back and listen. to
and
it.
I was probably like, "Fuck you."
This one's different. She likes me. She knows. I'm like, just wait, dude.
Yeah. Right again.
Right again. I'm sometimes right. People hate me, but
yeah.
That's it, man.
Okay.
That was fun. Bad Aaron Scarbrough. Everybody, go follow him.
Yeah.
Follow me if you like. Neanderthal Pod. That's it. Bye.